Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. We're here again for the news this morning. I've sort of fiddled with the settings a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a clear, uninterrupted stream of news. Today's big news coming out from a quote made late last night. Well, I say late last night, yesterday evening, coming from Fabrizio Romano, who seems to be basically the only real transfer source knocking about these days. He's the one that everyone likes. He's the one that everyone trusts. He seems to know everything somehow. I'm not exactly sure how he's managed it, but he's become kind of I hate to use this term, but one-stop shop for transfer news. And this is him, and he was on a Skype, or is it a Skype or an Instagram Live? That's how they do it these days, I suppose. Even that seems new, like newfangled even to me, who this is my job, but that even seems like a very modern way to be breaking transfer news. But he has said on this Instagram Live video with 433 on their Instagram, saying that Man United have been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for 2 months and are working on his contract. The coronavirus pandemic, I don't know if you've heard of it, but that's something that's been going on recently, is making it hard to communicate with Dortmund. United are confident. Few things there. Then obviously the big news is not only have they been in contact, but they are working on a contract. So that makes it sound as though there has been positive kind of feedback from Dortmund, positive feedback from Sancho's side of things. They wouldn't. If I went to Jadon Sancho, and was like, "Oh, do you want to come and play for Stretford Paddock FC?" We wouldn't get to be talking about contracts, would we? He would just say no. So there's obviously some kind of interest there. We've been saying for a while now that we have known at Stretford Paddock of that interest, of the interest from Manchester United, of the interest from Sancho to move to Manchester United. But this is the first time that the likes of Romano has really given us these full details on this transfer, on a transfer of this scale for a while. I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest transfers of all time if it comes off. But again, working on the contract, that is big. That the fact that the contract is already being written up, the contract is already being talked about. Written up is maybe a step too far there, but definitely talking about money, talking about fees, talking about bonuses, that kind of thing. I wonder with the contract if they sort of copy and paste the contract from like Paul Pogba's deal and then just like Control F or Control Replace Pogba with Sancho. Like, I wonder how similar all these contracts are if they have to write up the full contract right from the start. I mean, you think with a deal the size of 110, 120 million euros, they might put in the effort and just write up a new one. But surely that first page where it's like, we are offering you that can be most of the same, can't it? Just fill your name in, write your signature at the bottom, same contract as the Pogba one. But again, United are confident. That's another big thing, because we've seen this down the years where even if there haven't been official people coming out and saying that United are confident in these deals or that they aren't confident, some of the deals that United have been sort of supposedly linked to, we saw Griezmann a couple of years ago. Koulibaly is another one where I think the interest was there, but it never felt as though United were confident. There were never reports from close sources, official, high-level source. I know it's not an official source of either club, but Romano is, as we all know, relatively kind of reliable as far as these things go. We never had anyone of his stature coming out and saying, United think this is going to get done, United are confident of this. And we have had other people saying this. And again, sorry to blow my own trumpet here, but we have kind of known at Stretford Paddock of, like I said, a confidence and a kind of an interest between Sancho to United and United to Sancho. But again, it's good to see people of his stature not just saying it, but willing to say it publicly, because that's a big thing as well. You have to remember, it's not just the fact that he's saying this, it's that he knows he's saying it on Instagram Live. It's one thing talking behind the scenes to people, oh, that looks like it might happen, that looks like it might not. But I wouldn't say he's putting his reputation on the line, because he's just saying United are confident the contact has been made. But the fact that he's willing to say this publicly, the fact that he's willing to say this on Instagram, suggests to me that he thinks there is a good chance this deal is going to get done. Let me know in the comments what you think to the idea of having Jadon Sancho at United. We've asked this before, we've talked about Sancho before, but again, in a time where literally nothing is happening, except, by the way, some of the nicest March weather I've ever seen has been going on over the weekend and through till today. It is gorgeous outside. Just open the window, look at it from a distance, absolutely wonderful. Let's have a look at a few stats for Jadon Sancho then, because he is, I would say, the standout winger in the world at the moment. And that includes the likes of Messi and Ronaldo and anyone you want to mention. Stats-wise, he's right up there with anyone. So this season, he's made 35 appearances in all competitions, and he's got 17 goals and 19 assists in 35 appearances. So what's that, 36? 36? Maths. 36 goal contributions in 35 appearances. He only turned 20 yesterday. Right then. That's not possible, is it? You can't be doing that at 19. So it's similar. It's got that kind of Bruno Fernandes feel to it. Do you know where, like, it's not just loads of goals, like, you know, who gets loads of goals but not many assists? You know, Ronaldo or Lukaku, good example. It's not just loads of goals like Lukaku. It's not just loads of assists like Kevin De Bruyne. It is loads of goals, and even more assists. So let's say, you know, again, we always talk about how the Bundesliga will translate to the Premier League. Even if it's just a bit more difficult and those come down by even 50%, if he got 9 goals, 10 assists for United this season, you'd be well happy with that. With, 10 games to go in the league and potentially another 8 or 9 in cups. You know, double digits goals and assists for a winger or any sort of attacking player, a creative player like that, would be absolutely excellent, let alone if he could, you know, directly replicate what he's on at Dortmund at the minute. He's 20 today. Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Jadon Sancho. If we all put happy birthday, Jadon Sancho, in the comments, he'll sign for Man United. That's how it works. It's like an internet karma, like, sort of voodoo thing or something. Do it. Also, like the video. If you like the video, Jadon Sancho and Joe Man United. And I've got, hello, is that Manchester United? What, if people like the video, then you'll sign Jadon? Okay, yeah, I'll let them know. Man United have just rang me and said that if you like the video, Jadon Sancho will sign for Man United. I mean, it might have been a lie, but you don't want to risk it. Anyway, moving on to our next story today then. And this is, let's get rid of that one and bring that one in. This is the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Jadon Sancho. 4 people liked it, 5. Man United just rang me. And you're still willing to take that chance. They might not have rang, but they might have done. This is the ongoing uncertainty surrounding the future of Paul Pogba. Now, yesterday, this is why I'm talking uncertainty. I've got 2 articles to read here. One from ESPN and one again from Fabrizio Romano, who seemingly has not heard of coronavirus, has not heard that we're meant to be doing less. He's ramping it up. He's doing more than ever. But I suppose when your quotes are the news, all you have to do is speak, and you can do that anywhere. This is from ESPN then, and this is the happy side of things, the Paul Pogba might stay side of things. So this is from Rob Dawson, and he says, Man United optimistic of keeping Pogba beyond summer. Sources. So let's hear about this then. Manchester United are optimistic Paul Pogba will remain at the club beyond next summer, and doubt whether any of Europe's elite clubs can afford the midfielder. Right. So it's not like he loves it here, it's just we can't afford him. No one else can afford him. Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, don't know if you've heard of him, has said he wants to take a great player to Real Madrid, sparking more speculation. I love how he's like, Raiola a few months ago was like, I hate Solskjaer, he's crap, look at him, he's ugly, he's got silly hair and that. And then Solskjaer had to go back, and then Raiola was like, I don't talk about Solskjaer, I'm friends with him, I like him. And then he's like, that made me look quite nice when I said that. I was being all normal and like a real human. Fuck it. I want to take a big player to Real Madrid. What? I thought you were on our side again, Mino. You can't pin him down. He's like a pit bull, isn't he? You think you got there, you think you're friends with him, but you never want to put your face right next to his because he will bite it off. Juventus are also interested in re-signing Pogba, but there are significant doubts over whether the club could finance a deal. Okay, so that's a great point to switch to my other article, which again, coming from Fabrizio Romano via calciomercato.com. And this is talking about, the headline of this, exclusive. Juve have made their decision on Paul Pogba's return. Ooh, what's it going to be? Juventus have, again, this is translated from Italian. So if I read this and it sounds a bit not right English-wise, don't blame me. Juventus has a desire. I did actually read that wrong. Juventus have a desire, and its name is Paul Pogba. I have a desire, and its name is Paul Pogba. I have a desire actually, and its name is lasagna. The return, the new opportunity. That giant who arrived for free almost as a child in Turin, loved the translation on this, and became a man of records. Ooh, I think he bought loads of music or something. With his sale to Manchester United for a figure of over 100 million euros. Damn straight. The management's decision is clear: to be ready in case Paul Pogba really leaves Manchester. What does that mean? So he leaves, and then Juventus are like, yeah, we'll have him. You don't leave first. It's not like he's like, my contract's running out on my apartment. I'm going to be homeless for a few days. And then someone's like, oh, you can stay at mine. Juve are like, oh, come stay at ours. You have to buy him. He doesn't leave and then you get him. I know that's what you do with Aaron Ramsey and all them lot, but we're not just... Anyway, let's keep reading. The Red Devils have a clause to extend Paul Pogba's contract until 2022, and you can bet your ass we will. So the club does not consider the player to be expiring in a year because it is a unilateral option that will, of course, be exercised. Again, in English, proper English, that means his current deal does end on 2021, but that option is certainly going to be taken. There's no doubt about that. This is why the economic demand remains close to 100 million euros. For their part, Juve has decided to move from the good words always said by Paul Pogba in recent years and are ready to deal for real. The Bianconeri are ready to make the Frenchman the symbol of the next... I can't read that anymore. Right, but what the point is that Juve like the idea of getting Paul Pogba. But again, even in that article, it does seem as though the fee may be a stumbling block. And again, there's suggestion there that Juve may wait until his contract's run out, or they may try and get him for a cut price fee. It's hard to know exactly, but what is clear is that there seems to almost be truth in both of those rumours. One, that Paul Pogba may well stay after this summer, and the other is that Juve want him, because I think even in the article that says that he may stay, one of the biggest factors listed for why he might stay is because no one can afford him, which is something we've been saying for a while now. Who, he's rumoured to leave, but who needs him, wants him, and can afford him? Juve probably need him and want him. Don't know if they can afford him. Real Madrid, can afford him, but do they need him or want him? I don't know. It's hard to know really exactly who is going to get him. Let's get into the comments a little bit then. Someone says Pogba will stay because of the percentage Raiola will lose. Don't know what that means. Fergie was right about Raiola. Never doubt Fergie. Yeah, I think he was, wasn't he? Raiola's a bit of a slimy boy. Tyrannosaurus, mate. Give it a rest. Man United just called me saying that if you like and subscribe to Paddock, they will sign Sancho, Grealish, Bellingham and Didi and Ighalo. Oliver Edwards. Again, don't know if it's true, but why risk it? Do you know what I mean? It's not much to subscribe and like, is it? And press that notification bell as well so you can hear when we go live. And like Oliver said, he's saying that United have rang him and said that if you do all that, United will sign Sancho, Grealish, Bellingham and Didi and Ighalo. And again, why risk it? What we're going to say? Well said, Max. Yeah. Raiola's just like that teacher who's an absolute dick most of the time. Then sometimes you think he's been a legend, but then just turns into a dick again. Yeah, that's true. And you know what? Those teachers tend to be the ones that when you leave school were actually sound, but you didn't know it at the time. I don't know what that links to Raiola. Maybe after we've retired and Man United don't exist as a club anymore, then we'll like him. I don't really know how that comes back to that, but I'm thinking of a particular teacher in my head. That's probably what it is. Sancho isn't the best teen in football because he's 20. Look at you, Corey, eh? Happy birthday, Jadon Sancho, signed for United. Thank you, Glenn. That was a call to action that I initiated a little bit earlier, and it worked. He signed for United. Do you think United will be our only signing? No. And he says there, it's going to take a massive fee. I think if the fee is so sort of so large that he has to be United's only signing, I don't think we'll sign him, because I think we need numbers more than we need just him if it is just him. But I think United should be able to afford him and a couple of others. It's going to be 100 million or so, but we've still got payments from Lukaku to come in. We should have made a decent amount of money this season, depending on what goes on with the end of the season, obviously, because a lot of the TV money may have to be paid back if this season isn't completed. Another thing I was thinking, do you think if this season is null and void, all the goals, all the stats and stuff don't count anymore. Like, do Rashford's goals reset back to, what was it, like 38 that he started the season with or whatever? Or has he still got 60? I don't know. It'll be interesting, isn't it? Is there going to be a Late Night Live on Friday, Corey? Yes, there is. Yes, there very is, actually. And I think we need that this Friday more than ever. Do you want Pogba to stay? I want him to stay if he signs a contract and sort of knuckles down. Yeah, I do, because I think he's excellent. But I don't want him to just stay another year on the same contract that he's on, so we get less money from him in the summer and we have another year of this sort of fanfare and circus around him. I don't want that. But if he signs an extension, says he wants to stay for the long term, he sees a project under Solskjaer, all that sort of stuff, yeah, keep him because he's brilliant. Someone says, do you think we'll get him on? Nah. Sancho, as things stand, assuming there is a traditional transfer market, assuming that things aren't changed and contracts become strangely, inert by this whole coronavirus and things getting stretched and changed and sorted. If there's a traditional transfer market where we're allowed to sign players and we can sell players properly, I would say it's sort of 70-30 would be my, again, very slightly educated guess on that. Anyway, that's going to be all for me. We're going to be back a little bit later. Me and David Pritt have got a youth review coming out, and there have actually been some youth games, not in the last couple of weeks, but since we last came on. And also, you all owe Dave an apology for saying that he was mad when he said that Tahith Chong was going to sign a contract, because he said he was, and about 4 days later he did. And we'll talk about that in the youth review in a little bit, so be sure to tune in for that. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be back again later for that, but back tomorrow for the news. We're going to have a podcast tomorrow. And again, Late Night Live will be on Friday. We've got basically a full schedule of videos, so be sure to tune in for Stretford Paddock whenever you want a video, because we're going to have one. So enjoy it. Right, see you in a bit.